So he came, he rallied with all his strength behind me. So in various ways. So I was very happy, absolutely happy. The day I got up and I was beginning to walk, I was not separately elated. I was equally happy only. I would say perhaps these are the only, if you may call them as mystical experiences, well, they are there. And nothing more than that I have ever had. That's all.
Swamiji, the Ashtavakra Gita,
yes,
I have read that it's very, very difficult to comprehend because it can confuse a person. And only those who have really reached the highest level of sadhana are the ones who can really read the Ashtavakra Gita. And you have mastered it.
the point is, you are again talking from this birth point of view, unaware of what amount lies in your savings bank account of past births. So, the fitness or otherwise, it is not for us to judge because we don't know that how much amount lies. You may be a billionaire and you may be having only 30 rupees now in your savings bank account. What about the billions which are there? At any time you can draw them. So, as such, it all depends, the path which you choose. It depends on your guru. It depends on the path that you have gone through in your previous births. In every birth, you can't go through a different path. You will never reach. So it depends on all these things. But then, it is the simplest. What further thing you want? He says, simply remain in your being and nothing else. Yadi deham parityajya chiti vishramya tishtasi adhunaiva sukhi shanto jivan mukto bhavishyasi. I will call it the instant moksha capsule, which it's not very difficult to get to that stage. Provided you have a will, where there is a will, there is a way, that's all. Sit for half an hour. Tell the world, please, I request you for half an hour, don't come near me. Then you come and embrace me to the extent to the fullest extent, but please allow me half an hour to myself. So, request with love, world, please be away from me for 15 minutes even. Start with it. When the world goes, your body is part of the world. You are not part of the world, but your body is part of the world. So, the body sense also need not interfere with your things. Don't do anything, simply sit, that's all. Simply sit. Come like this and you simply sit. There are a lot of plants and all that. Don't choose anything. Oh, hurry, this is a mango plant which I planted badly 2 weeks back. My Lord, how it has grown. Don't choose. Live in the choiceless perception. You perceive the totality, don't choose an individual. Simply remain, that's all. Similarly, the perception of the ear. There are various cacophony of sounds going on everywhere. Suddenly don't pick up, oh my Lord, this is my sister's son who is crying. What has been doing? Don't pick up one sound. Live in the totality of the noise. Live in the totality of the scenery. Simply live there. And this is simply being, that's all. Nothing comes, you are simply am. Nanvidyano, that's all. Simply remain in that. That's more than sufficient. How difficult it could be, I do not know. It's not, see, ask for 15 minutes. Do that. Then slowly extend. You tell them 5 minutes more every day. So after a month you ask, please word another 5 minutes more. You'll be able to do it. That's there. See, everything is that. Even the world is made up of that. So if you request, your request will be acceded to. No problems. Approach it with all love and you will get it. That's all. The longing and the love. That's all. That will get you everywhere. Even this world, don't reject it with harshness. That's all. Love everything. Everything is He. But the form in which it is coming, it is alluring, rather luring you away from the ultimate. So you request it, please, for half an hour you keep it yourself, then you do whatever you want with me. So daily half an hour, the base, Vamana required only 3 feet and he took the entire person to him. So these are the 3 feet you require, and then he goes beyond. The 3 feet are, give me your Rajoguna, give me your Sattva Guna, give me all the three gunas, I'll take you beyond.
Beautifully you put it,
That's all.
Swamiji.
That's all.
Swamiji, it is said that you don't stay in one place for more than 3 days. What is the philosophy behind that?
See, the philosophy behind it is, when you are there for 3 days, you get attractions. And you cultivate attachments. That's what happens. So they have found that 3 days is sufficient to get you proper attachments. Some people make it even with 3 minutes, but in a normal way, in an average, so that is there. So you cut off the relationship, forget it, and you go everywhere. So that is the way. Otherwise, what happens? For 3 days, if somebody, that's why they say, Ekanam na bhunjiyat, Brahaspati samadapi. One man says, Swamiji, you are in Bangalore for nearly 6 months. All these 6 months, you take your meals at my house. Mr. Anand has been telling, so I do it also. But the Shastras say, don't. You will get attached. There was a Swamiji was going on the marketplace. He was telling, hey, can I get a coffin? A coffin is the one, wherein the dead body is placed. I want a coffin for covering up. The one fellow asked, where is the corpse? He said, okay, you come along. He gave him a room in his house. For 20 years he lived in that house. He was taking his meals. He would not talk. Absolute mound. He will have nothing to do with them. One night when he was sleeping in the room, there is the room where they had placed their Godrej safe with all their valuables, because they said Swamiji will take care of it. So they placed it there. So in the night the thieves came. They broke open, they took all the jewels and the money. He was seeing. Even though they thought he was sleeping, he was looking at it. And they were going out. Because he had been with them for 30 years, he just wanted to follow them and find out where are they going. He followed quietly. They went up to a distance. The day was breaking, the sunrise was coming up. So there was a big well where there was no water inside. They threw them all there to be taken later on. They went away. The Swamiji went back. In the morning, when they found, they were all wailing and saying, oh my Lord, what has happened? And then the Swamiji, just by signs, asked him, you follow me. He went to that well. He said, she recovered it. And then that house owner asked him, is the coffin true or is the corpse true? Is that corpse alone is true? He left the house and went away.
Swamiji, is science an impediment to spirituality?
Science is not an impediment to spirituality. Both are working toward the end in finding out the truth. But then the one has begun at the macrocosm, the spirituality starts at the microcosm. What is in the entire Brahmanda, you can see this inside it. That is why people like Aryabhatta in those days, with any astronomical telescope, they could find out the speed with which the satellites of Saturn were going, the speeds of Venus and all that. To the 5th or 6th decimal place, it is accurate even today. And if you see the present day's quantum physics, including the famous E is equal to mc squared of Einstein, the relativity theory, they are all pointing towards the same. One of the Nobel Prize man, he said, today we are still in 2 energy fields, we have not come to 1. He said, it came in the Illustrated Weekly, I am very confident we will come to that 1, finally to that 1 only. The entire quantum physics, the concept of that what you call the superconductors, they all denote the Jivan Mukta. They say a simple wire, when its heat is reduced to 0, it becomes perfect. Perfect in the sense there can only be one perfection, imperfection can be many. Somebody asked you, how is your car running like? Oh, it's excellent, it's running very well. Will you ask, does it run well in its accelerator or in engine? It's in all aspects. So perfection, there is going to be one state. Imperfection, if he says something is wrong, man. Well, is it the engine? Is it the accelerator? Is it the wheel? Is it the electrical system? There can be thousands. So imperfection can be many, perfection can only be one. So when you reach that perfect state, the entire energy has to be concentrated and made static. It should not be allowed to disperse. So the entire heat energy has been reduced to 0 degrees absolute, minus 273.16 degrees absolute, centigrade, and then it becomes perfect. In this sense, when a big magnet is brought towards it, towards that wire, it knows, it gets sarvajñatva, it knows what is happening. It knows how many dynes of force the magnet is bringing to attack it. Then it can create the creativity. It gives it, it endows each electron with a similar amount of force. It comes and hits, it cannot penetrate, it is deflected, it goes to the next. So like that every electron deflects it cannot penetrate, it comes and around, it exhausts itself and falls at the feet. This is what was told that when Vishwamitra was sending all his astras and shastras and Vasishta was a superconductor, he was just sitting like that. All the astras and shastras made parikrama and then prostrated at his feet. This is what is said. So you will see that the entire thing goes. There is one Swami Jagadatmananda of Ramakrishna Mission. He has written 2 beautiful books about modern physics and Vedanta. They have been published by the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. They are 2 small books, very excellent, and one of them in fact contains the latest experiment called the Bell experiment, for which even the Nobel Prize was expected. So they are all going towards the same end, but the macrocosm is so wide and variegated, so it is difficult for you to analyze and come. One Salim Ali could only concentrate on a butterfly all through his life, and he could get a Nobel Prize for it. What about the thousands of other insects? But has he been able to penetrate what is the source of that life energy which was in it and all that? So that is why it is easier to start on this, because this only 6, say 5 feet, 5.5 feet into 3 feet or some such thing. It is easier to get it here and then to find out, that is all. So it is a question of which is easier done instead of the other one, because there the diversity, when it comes, it can attract you and you will be again going away from the path which you are pursuing. It will take you away from your main objective of the entire research itself, and here you are safe because you are within a limited parameter. That is what I feel like.
Swamiji, we started this conversation with the Himalayas. Now I am coming back to it. The Himalayas has always attracted sages and siddhas.
Yes.
So has Tiruvannamalai. You have been in both these places.
Yes.
What is so uniquely divine about these two, Swamiji?
See, the Himalayas have got Siddha Purushas, because Himalayas being so wide and expansive, the Siddhas are perhaps distributed over absolutely remote places. One does not come into contact with them. And the Tiruvannamalai has got some uniqueness about it. The one uniqueness is that there they say it is only divine, but here they say that Lord Shiva himself took the form of this mountain. He himself, he said, I will be in 2 forms, as Arunachaleshwara in the temple and as this Arunachala mountain also, that is there. And the beauty is, it is a combination of Shiva and Shakti. The 999th name of the mother is Shiva Shakti Ekarupini Namaha. Shiva Shakti Ekarupini Namaha. And it is Aruna plus Achala. Achala is Lord Shiva, who is the Kutastha, and Aruna is the name of the mother, Arunam Karuna Tarangitatrim. So the both together are there. It is a rare combination. So it is unique in that. The other uniqueness of the recent past is As I told a little earlier, there is a category of unique people. See, even among the Jivanmuktas there are three categories: Brahmavit, Brahmavittara, Brahmavittama, the knower of the Brahman, the better knower of the Brahman, the best knower of the Brahman. Beyond that all is Atyashrami. How can there be? When once you have known who you are merged in the totality. How can there be scales? The scales are not from the top, scales are from the ignorance point of view. Some 7 people appeared for MBBS. One man got 38%, 40% the minimum mark. The moderation committee gave him 2% more, and he became a medical officer and became a surgeon here in Ramaya Hospital. Another one, he got distinction. He also became a surgeon. Positively, he shone better. He went abroad. He wrote several theses on various subjects and all that. There was another one who got 100 out of 100. He was known as Brahmavittama. Naturally, a man who could get 100 out of 100 in an MBBS, he should have been really unique in his capacity, and it would have definitely shown in his work. More than that, Atyashrami is one. There were 10 questions in the paper. He said, answer any 8 questions. The fellow answered all the 10 questions. He got 130 out of 100. And he is an Atyashrami. And such a person, the first one was called Vamadeva. While in the womb of his mother in the 10th month, he became realized. He said, Aham Manurabhavam, Aham Chandasa Suryascha. Oh, I am the moon, I am the sun, I was the Manu. He began to exclaim. So, the Atyashrami is one who has never subject to any samskara of upanayana or marriage or any such thing. The man who wears no emblems to show whether he is a Brahmachari or a Sanyasi. So, like that, it is all described. There are about 20 shlokas in the book called Sutta Samhita. It has been repeated in the Vidyaranya's book, Jivan Mukti Viveka, all those 20 shlokas, and they also come in some other Puranas, Padma Puranas like that. It is there. So, they are unique category. They never had a guru in this life. They are ready-made acharyas who came only as the world teachers in this world. The second one was Shukadeva, the third one was Jadabharata, and the fourth one is considered to be Ramana. It is not others who told, Ramana himself declared it. There was a court case regarding the lands, because the temple said Shiva himself has become this entire mountain. The mountain belongs to us and not to the forest department. They put a case. And they cited him as a witness, as a scholar who knew the Puranic background. So, at that time they asked him, hey, are you a sannyasi and what are you? You are wearing white, but you are having mundan, you are having a close shaved head. So, what are you? He said, I am Atyashrami. Is it a term you have coined or is it as it got the sanction of the scriptures? He said, it is there in Sutta Samhita and all that. Are you the first one or have you been earlier? He mentioned the names. That is how we came to know that he was an Atyashrami, the one who was beyond all. So, when such a person had been there, the vibration is something unique which you cannot imagine, and that is why it is told in the Arunachala Mahatmya that for 20 kilometers radius around this Arunachala, a jnani need not take formal sannyas at all. Every jnani is a born sannyasi there. Sringeri Shankaracharya sent his emissary, a great Pandit, to Ramana to convince him that you should not live like that, otherwise everybody will flout all the scriptures. Oh, Ramana lived like that, I need not take sannyas. So, the parampara, the tradition stands at a risk of being lost. Ramana heard him, he said, okay, you go and have your meals and come back, we will discuss about it at 2 o'clock. And he said, you need not go anywhere, the sannyasi will come to you, we will give it here itself, everything the pontiff will arrange. When he went away, he was sitting with 20-30 people. a bright gentleman with a panchakacha and all that, he came with a kundala, with kundalas in his ears, very bright looking, with a radiant face. He brought some 7 or 8 books. He didn't do namaste or anything, no courtesies to Ramana. He came with a uddhata bhava, with a uddanda bhava, that is as if he is the king of all. And he placed these books before. Please look after this. I am coming within about 20 minutes or so. And he went away. And idly, the first book he took, Ramana, and he turned a page. There he found Arunachala Mahatma, this particular shloka, that a jnani within 20 kilometers of Arunachala need not take formal sannyas at all. He put a paper and he noted on a sheet of paper the shloka, that chapter and verse and all these things. He kept it by himself. Then afterwards, people were all sitting, some went, some came back and all that.